What happens when a pitcher who spent years fighting for a spot in the rotation finally gets his chance, only to discover that the next chapter of his career will no longer be in MLB? Easton Lucas just lived exactly that. The Blue Jays left-hander was placed on unconditional release waivers and is now one step away from leaving North American baseball to continue his career overseas. And this, Blue Jays Nation, completely reshapes the map of our bullpen for 2026. Hello, Blue Jays Nation. Welcome to Jays Nation News, your place for all the hottest updates on the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm the fan who has bled blue and white forever, and what I'm about to reveal today could redefine how we see the immediate future of our pitching staff. Stick with me, because this unexpected departure isn't just a small offseason detail. It's a move that triggers a chain of critical decisions inside the front office. You won't believe the analysis that's coming. Hit the like button, drop your sharpest opinion in the comments, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything coming in this frantic offseason. Easton Lucas's departure hits a sensitive spot for any Jays fan who lived through this turbulent journey of the rotation and bullpen throughout 2025. After that suffocating run to Game 7 of the World Series against the Dodgers, it became clear that to keep this competitive window wide open, every arm in the pitching staff carries real weight. And Lucas, even without exciting numbers, was exactly the kind of depth piece the coaches insisted on shaping. Someone who could serve as emergency help, as a buffer, as an option whenever the grind of the season tightened. He was never seen as an immediate solution, but as part of that essential support layer that sustains an MLB contender through 162 games and beyond. And let me paint the picture even more clearly. We're talking about a pitcher who moved through 3 organizations in 3 seasons, always trying to find stability, always fighting to show he deserved more than those brief appearances. Oakland, Detroit, Toronto, always short stints, always the smallest window to prove value, always entering high-pressure scenarios where any mistake becomes a statistic and any good moment goes unnoticed. Lucas never had the luxury of a longer stretch to adjust command, develop his arsenal, or find rhythm. These were spot starts, emergency innings, situations where he had to be perfect immediately just to remain part of the conversation. With the Jays, he finally had the biggest opportunity of his career. 6 games, 5 starts, 23 strikeouts in 24.1 innings. Numbers that show flashes but also expose the roller coaster he was on. A 6.66 ERA that simply left no room for growth. Good stretches were immediately followed by innings where everything collapsed, and that inconsistency weighed heavily when the team needed to trim the roster and determine who really had space during the push to October. On a team that ultimately reached the World Series, there was no room for prolonged experimentation, especially on the mound. And this is exactly where everything changes. The unconditional release clears the way for Lucas to continue his career outside MLB, very likely in an international league. A natural path for left-handers with intriguing stuff, even if inconsistent. Foreign leagues, especially in Asia, have a history of reviving pitchers who never found stability in MLB, offering regular innings, technical adjustments, and a chance to rebuild confidence. For Lucas, this could be the missing step to turn potential into performance. For the Jays, however, the impact is much greater than simply opening a roster spot. The analysis is straightforward and harsh. Losing Lucas means one more empty space in a sector that already entered 2025 lacking consistency. Even with a collective 4.19 ERA, only the 19th best in the league. Toronto managed to finish with the best record in the American League. That only happens when you have enough depth to survive the natural highs and lows of a grueling season. Every available arm matters. Every bullpen option matters. Every rotation alternative matters. And every time one of those pieces slips away, the safety net gets thinner. In the optimistic scenario, this release may indicate that Ross Atkins and the front office are already aligned to bring in someone more reliable, perhaps a higher impact international arm or veteran who can stabilize the back end of the rotation. It could be the first step in an aggressive rebuild, the kind the fan base has been demanding since early winter, made even more necessary after coming so close to the championship. In the cautious scenario, this only reveals that the problem runs deeper. There's an urgent need to reassess the entire pitching development structure of the organization. It's not just about acquiring names. It's about developing the ones who arrive, refining arsenals, improving command, building consistency. Lucas, moving through 3 organizations in such a short time without securing a spot, is almost a symbol of that structural failure. He never received enough time, and Toronto never managed to extract stability from him. And from a front office's perspective, this decision sends a clear message heading into 2026. The testing phase is over. It's win now mode. Players still in the evaluation stage will not last long on the roster. Every move needs to matter. Every spot needs real impact. If you believe Toronto needs to prioritize 2 starters and at least 1 high-impact reliever this offseason, hit the like button to amplify the voice of Blue Jays Nation, and make sure the front office understands the urgency of this moment for our pitching staff. Lucas's departure may seem like a minor offseason detail, but in reality, it's one of those silent moves that influences the entire logic of roster construction. It's about depth preparation and not being exposed when the season tightens, and it always does. Now, with 1 less left-hander in the system, the Jays need to act quickly to avoid repeating mistakes from previous years, when a lack of ready arms cost crucial wins. So I ask you, Blue Jays Nation, what should be the number 1 focus of the front office after Lucas's departure? Reinforcing the rotation, reinforcing the bullpen, or betting heavily on the international market? Leave your opinion in the comments. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell, because this off-season promises to be one of the busiest we've ever seen. And we'll be here covering every step of this process until the 2026 roster is complete. Let's go together, Blue Jays Nation. This is just getting started.